It recently occurred once more. The widely renowned genre-bending project GNX by Kendrick Lamar has just accomplished the seemingly impossible, re-entering the top 10 on Apple Music in Germany and completely outperforming Drake. Take a moment to process that. And an album that came out months ago without any promotion from a major label, radio-friendly songs, or ostentatious advertising campaigns. The artist it dethroned has made a comeback to one of Europe's most competitive charts. In less than 2 hours, Drake, the streaming king and self-described worldwide superstar, not only climbed, but also soared from Jinga Arshabat to Jinga Joel. Why? 'Cause there's a storm coming. German supporters declare that they are tired of meaningless luxury. GNX is referred to by TikTok as the only authentic rap album with a worldwide vibe. Additionally, insiders speculate that a strong live leak from Kendrick's international rehearsal that left fans stunned may be the cause of this unexpected rise. Drake remained quiet. Germany came online. Kendrick is revising the rules once more. However, this goes beyond the figures. The European takeover is about to begin. Keep an eye out, since the recent events in Germany could serve as a warning to the rest of the world. To change the society, Kendrick Lamar didn't need a successful song. He didn't require interviews, billboards, or a dance challenge that went viral. He recently released GNX, a body of work that is still coming apart months later because it is so unpolished, multi-layered, and unpredictable. However, what took place this week in Germany? It was a declaration rather than merely a comeback. Let's go back. Critics criticized GNX for being overly cerebral, deep, and slow-burning when it originally came out. However, Kendrick was fully aware of his actions. The charts weren't his goal. His goal was to leave a legacy. GNX is a slow-building storm of Germanic orchestration, haunting voice memos, cryptic political commentary, and jazz-inspired sounds that he created like a time capsule. The release of the album was also different. There was only one post from PG Lang that said, "For those who still listen, for those who still feel." The fans, they showed up. But the charts didn't reflect the depth at first. There was no warning, no rollout, and no features. Drake, meanwhile, was everywhere. Playlist covers, streaming charts, and dates of VIP-only European tours with opulent sponsored pop-ups. Drake, in particular, controlled MEPs in Germany. Champagne? Seasons. His 2025 release was viewed as a shift toward Europe. Lyrics about fast cars, Paris fashion, and love affairs in Zurich are set over house-infused beats with auto-tuned lines. It worked for months. In Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Cologne. And Kendrick Drake was at the top of the charts. Respected but overshadowed by popular gloss. GNX quietly lingered outside the top 20. The shift in BR Lionette started with a whisper up until this point. A shaky video from a Berlin underground listening party with a GNX theme surfaced on TikTok. Projector lights in a dark room. Kendrick's weaving an unreleased fur over archways while a lone voice speaks. The video received one for the caption, "It's not done with us yet." 12 hours with 6 million views. German fans started sharing videos of themselves listening to GNX again. This time with think pieces headlined "Drake's music plays at you" and "Kendrick's lives in you," and translated lyric analysis, a la Reddit. Why it took Germany 6 months to understand GNX. Rap is not what this is. Resistance is what this is. The number of Spotify streams doubled. Apple Music experienced a 3-day surge. At number 9, just above Drake, GNX had surged 19 spots. By day 4, and that's when things became actual. The silent slide T of Drake. For 17 weeks in a row, Drake had remained comfortably in the top 10, which was his longest run on the European charts in more than 2 years. According to reports, his crew is getting ready for a live broadcast concert in Berlin to commemorate it. However, those intentions fell through when GNX took his place. Just silence, no tweet, no message. Insiders, however, claimed Drake was unhappy. According to a source close to a big venue promoter in Europe, Drake's camp was caught off guard. They believed that Kendrick's record had become less popular. Nobody witnessed Germany flipping in this way. More tellingly, the same day, Apple Music Germany changed the banner on its homepage from Champagne Seasons to a stark Kendrick's visage in black and white. Mater's Germany is more than just a nation on a map, with the words GNX, the return. Why Germany? Superimposed over the closed eyes. It's one of the most trend-setting and data-driven music markets in Europe. German charts frequently have an impact on playlists in Eastern Europe, the Nordic markets, and new international rap hotspots like Amsterdam, Prague, and Warsaw. Oh, the return of GNX. The industry is keeping a careful eye on it because if Kendrick can overtake Drake in Germany, without a single promotion or tour stop, what will happen if he decides to push? It became evident that this wasn't a coincidence when GNX returned to the top 10 on Apple Music in Germany. Kendrick Lamar was the reluctant leader of a digital uprising that had just begun. Chart games, billboards, or advertisements didn't create the momentum. It was risky because it came from the fans. Days before the GNX chart boost, the covert performance made the difference. Rap Watch Berlin, a small underground German YouTube station, posted an enigmatic clip. The title of the video is K. Lamar's rehearsal for GNX. Unknown location. 4K video. No tags, no introduction. It was just Kendrick practicing what appeared to be a totally reworked version of GNX's last song, Colonnade, in a dark warehouse. The album did not include this version. It included a scary vocal sample from what sounded like a political protest, as well as real saxophones chanting in German. The kicker? Kendrick addresses the camera directly at the conclusion of the rehearsal. He continues, "They always told me Europe loves aesthetics, but now they see the architecture in pain too. Maybe they weren't listening before. Maybe now they're ready?" Bang. That quote was quite powerful. A dot. The video became viral on Reddit, Telegram, and even political blogs. With captions like "Kendrick didn't market to Germany," TikTok modifications surfaced. He addressed it. Students at German universities began talking about GNX in sociology classes within a day. A sold-out poetry night called Letters from GNX, the Drake, RAC, was held at an independent bookstore in Frankfurt, and art galleries started showing images inspired by GNX. Meanwhile, Drake's The Team was rushing. According to insiders, the promotion for the Champagne season was totally disregarded. Germany is in the period of deeper rollout. Drake's attention was on France, Italy, and the United Kingdom. The plan was to deal with Germany passively. They no longer believed Kendrick had heat there, but all of a sudden, they lost their place. Even worse, Kendrick wasn't the only one who topped them. Kendrick was supposedly given priority by Apple Music's internal editorial board in a number of European countries. On Discord, a purportedly authenticated Apple Music Germany employees' Slack chat was released. Real interaction with the Kendrick data is higher than plays. GNX is what we advise for complete homepage rotation. Germany is even requesting access to an interview. The line that drew in the fans. Drake has good numbers. Kendrick's influence is growing rapidly. Things took a personal turn after receiving a call from 2NTO, a music company. According to an unidentified global report, an executive connected to Drake made direct contact with Apple's European curation lead. The dialogue, "Are you curious as to what transpired? What made the switch? Why promote an album that is only 6 months old? We didn't push it, the listeners did. We're following the signal," was apparently Apple's reaction. Tensions were only increased by that. This was the first official in an unexpected counterplay. One of Drake's best-selling songs in Europe, Champagne Moons, was unexpectedly remixed by Ovo. A rising Berlin rapper's German verse was featured on the dance remix, which was created by a well-known Dutch house DJ, an accelerated TikTok edit designed to go viral. It was an obvious message. Fans quickly referred to it as, "We're taking Germany back." One Berlin quote that is reactionary. The music vlogger became well known. Drake is sprinkling a broken mirror with glitter. The truth was already given to us by Kendrick. Chart games are revealed. Then the true twist appeared. Back-end data was revealed by a European DSP digital service provider whistleblower. Images purportedly demonstrating playlist padding, in which over 200 law-level German playlists over the previous 2 weeks featured tunes from the Champagne season. While Kendrick's rise was natural, Drake's streams were artificially bolstered by placements, despite user skips soaring significantly. A popular topic resulted from the breach. Phony seasons and remarks such as Drake's song that plays everywhere but is cut off in the middle. Once you hear Kendrick's songs, your entire week is changed. Germany made no change. They tuned in. Fans weren't merely rejoicing over a chart victory when Apple Music announced that GNX had surpassed Drake in Germany. A blueprint was being decoded by them. Kendrick wasn't merely increasing his stats, he was putting together a message for the continent. Berlin was merely the initial domino. Silently, the Berlin art blockade began. The Architecture of Noise was a special after-hours exhibition for visitors at Berlin's home, Durelt, one of the city's most prestigious museums of modern art. Only perhaps 30 people received invitations. Cell phones are not permitted. An unidentified American interdisciplinary artist created the display as a sound installation. By daybreak, however, there were whispers everywhere. That was Kendrick's voice. GNX extended that. A voice recording. That is grainy, released by someone who had a covert audio recorder in place. It featured a 9-minute unreleased composition that combined German field recordings, political chanting, public voices, transport system alarms, and GNX instrumentals. Noise is only disruptive until you listen. Kendrick's voice was eerie and captivating as it muttered halfway through the song. The twist then appeared. He was answered by a deep, melodic voice he recognized. While some of us visit, others dwell in the cacophony. We infuse your chaos with harmony. That voice. It was immediately recognizable to fans. UP. The queen of smooth resistance from the United Kingdom has just stepped into the orbit of GNX. Joria lets out a sound. Joria lets out a sound. The UK suddenly became aware of something more profound as Joria Smith reposted a fan's analysis of the Berlin leak with the caption, "What happens in Berlin? Let the art breathe." Joria didn't co-sign lightly. She had recently released the highly regarded Salja EP, which tackled post-Brexit identity. She and Kendrick were now working together on GNX territory. This isn't a characteristic, it's a fellowship. Joria grabbed a hammer after observing the architecture. She was dubbed the First Lady of PG Long Europe by her admirers. A flyer then surfaced online a few hours following the Berlin audio release. White, minimalistic design background, GNX location, Euro transmission. TBA date, TBA, one sign, the PG Long diamond, and 2 words. However, it contained a QR code that opened an encrypted countdown. Translation: 17 days, 52 hours, 17 minutes, 0 hours, 9 minutes, and 52 seconds. There was an impending event. Siam Tay is being built by PG Lang, and insiders attested to the flyer's authenticity. The frequency event, working title GNX. is said to include pre-programmed audio takeovers of train station PA systems across Europe, coordinated flash mob readings of GNX lyrics in 5 capital cities, an unreleased Kendrick Lamar song, and more. A well-placed source at a French creative agency tweeted and then deleted, "We just delivered the first round of assets to Palong. Think less concert and more multi-site sonic protest," within a 72-hour period. The Zoria live short film will be shown on public landmarks in Berlin, Paris, and Amsterdam. This isn't a tour. This is a disturbance. Drake's team attempts to hit Basque. Drake's crew frantically tried to come up with a countermove in the meanwhile. According to leaks, several venues in Paris were discreetly approached about hosting a purported pop-up event, but the majority of them turned it down. "The streets are talking," Kendrick, a French promoter, told a German hip-hop blog. "The brands want Drake, but right now, the streets are louder." Drake responded by posting a now-deleted Instagram story of himself relaxing on a yacht in the Mediterranean with the caption, "Let the poets play in the dirt. I'm above all that." Fans quickly dragged it. You can't dismiss dirt when you used. To rap about your roots, Kendrick built a legacy. You booked a layover. It's not luxury. That's a dodge. The backlash was swift and vicious. The Apple Music playlist, Satch FTN, was updated by Apple Music Germany. This was the first time in more than a year that a Kendrick song held the top spot. It wasn't a new release or remix, but rather the GNX track, Colonnade. A spoken word narrative piece was now leading the charge directly beneath it. Julia Smith, Blue Window, was rumored to sample Kendrick's GNX interlude. Drake then fell to number 11. The real curveball came 24 hours later when Kendrick created a new playlist called Noise and Reflection Rap that moves you cover photos. The shocking EDN game was followed by a chilling note on the last page of a leaked PG Lang planning doc. That was confirmed by multiple sources. This isn't about a chart war. This is the test run. GNX Europe is the first trial. The next signal is for America. Fans are now speculating that Kendrick's GNX, the frequency event, might just be the beginning of a global rollout plan that is based on physical art, grassroots rebellion, and cultural disruption. And the people who responded. The fan rebel. Luento, Reddit, and YouTube exploded with international fan reactions. But it wasn't just teenagers in baggy hoodies. One Berlin-based creator went viral with a short documentary style. By this point, Gang wasn't just a sleeper album that made a comeback. It was the heartbeat of a rising cultural shift across Europe. Kendrick Lamar had done the unthinkable, turning a chart resurgence into a full-fledged movement, not with celebrity selfies or dance challenges, but with sonic architecture, wordplay, resistance, and rhythm. He claimed that Drake gave us champagne and Kendrick gave us scars, one of which fades in the morning and the other of which is Gum's memory. Another fan shared a picture of her tattoo, a GNX lyric in German, across her forearm on Twitter with the caption, "This project didn't change the game." Breakdown. Why GNX feels like a warning with over 3.1 million views in a single day. Ignoring it, it constructed its own. Key on Deck is supported by European media. The mainstream media was unable to overlook it. Kendrick Lamar's GNX, a protest album without the signs, London, France, dubbed the first post-streaming masterpiece, was the subject of a front-page opinion piece in the Der Spiegel. The Guardian UK released a laudatory editorial. "We were given a playlist from Drake. We were given a template by Kendrick. Weeks before year-end lists were due. Rolling Stone Europe even subtly moved GNX up to number 3 in their list of the year's greatest albums." According to an anonymous editor at Pitchfork Europe, everyone expected Kendrick to disappear after GNX. Instead, he let the world catch up. G. Cole eventually chimes I, and then, the moment hip-hop fans have been waiting for. For your IA, So, for years, J. Cole posted on posts they slept on. The same was done with GNX. Some music ripens rather than ages. Even though Loud Cole published a playlist called Patience, the post was subtly intended. Kendrick Lamar's Colonnade is the first track. Folding Clothing is the second track. Fans dubbed it the Silent Alliance. The caption said, "Some art isn't supposed to pop. It's supposed to stay with you. This is not a rap feud, Kendrick. Cole Yora. Rap balance is this. The chasing stats of one side and the chasing immobility of the other. The industry begins to shine." Things became serious at that point. Internal teams were now examining GNX's European performance statistics, according to many sources within Warner Brothers and Universal Music, comparing paid and organic virality while investigating Kendrick's low volume, big impact approach. A German label executive stated GX isn't just trending, it's reshaping how we think about international longevity. Kendrick didn't create a viral moment in the global music industry. A live document was created by him. The twist then appeared. A brand new category for awards. According to reports, several award committees, including the Deutsche Music Prize, the Berlin Art Prize, and the European Music Awards, are currently in discussions to establish a new prize classification called Cultural Sound Installation. Music would be recognized by this. Initiatives that affect intellectual, political, and social domains in addition to charts and ticket sales. You guessed it, Kendrick Lamar was the first name that was being discussed. GNX. According to a proposal remark that was leaked, GNX defies genre, engaged architecture, protest, and poetry. It is the first of its kind and demands its own recognition. Despite all of this, PG Lang has not released any statements, press releases, or social media reposts. Instead, they have made a subtle edit to the homepage of their website, adding a single rotating phrase in white type at the bottom of the page. What charts call noise, we call signal. What Europe calls now, we called months ago. What comes next has no genre, no links, and no context. Just the storm still building. And still, the countdown on the GNX broadcast page continues to tick away. 5 days. 6 cities, a signal the world may not be prepared for. A screenshot of an encrypted email purportedly sent from PGO Long, its internal server. Under the username langsignal_93 was posted by the location Expo SD, an anonymous user on Reddit. Subject line, GNX broadcast, node Brandenburg Gate, Brandenburg. Gate is Germany's most iconic monument, the site of a historical protest, and a place where walls once divided and voices once rose. Tension was everywhere as the countdown reached its final hours. Fans from Berlin, Paris, Amsterdam, and London were swarming public spaces, watching digital clocks ticking toward zero. One more terrifying detail was included in the message. At 9 p.m. CE, the full audiovisual stream was activated. It lasted for 17 minutes and 12 seconds, and the audio format included plus-coded vocals. Public visibility was inevitable. The broadcast that broke everything to Keshin at precisely 9 p.m. Gates' lighting system flickered and cut, and projectors embedded in nearby rooftops activated simultaneously. The crowds were unprepared, uninvited, and froze. Then the sound came, not a song, not a performance, but a transmission. Kendrick's voice slowed, filtered, and haunting. Drake's final desperate moo, minutes before the broadcast started. Drake posted an Instagram story with a looping video of him in a studio, nodding to an unreleased track. You looked at charts. I looked at cities. You posted playlists. I planted echoes. Now, can you hear it? Over the next 17 minutes, the gate became a screen for shadowy visuals. Crumbling cathedrals, distorted maps, and melting platinum. Plaques, and behind it all, unreleased GNX vocals, political samples, crowd noise, and a whisper from Joria Smith. I construct satellites. Don't worry, I'm going to launch. Soon after, he was instantly criticized by the internet. Even XXL Mag tweeted, Drake lost Germany and maybe Europe too. Bro, Kendrick projected a revolution on a monument. You're bobbing your head in a mood light. You can't start a broadcast with a preview. This is history. This isn't OVO Fest. GNX Europe. Phase 1 complete. Time stopped at 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. 0 location, recalculating. Then it all faded. No merchandise, no tour, no stream links, just silence. The aftermath of #GNX Berlin trended #1. The GNX TIM staff. The end of the broadcast. One final screen appeared on the gate. Berlin's mayor tweeted, Tonight we saw art interrupt the city. Concert producers dubbed it the most impactful non-performance in music history. It provided everything and asked for nothing. Not just a rapper, but a disruption system. Drake remained silent, but fans noticed something else on PG Lang's homepage. After the broadcast concluded, a new line of text appeared. Phase 2 originated in Detroit, and the countdown started again. You just witnessed it. What Kendrick Lamar and PG Lang did in Germany didn't involve a rollout, a comeback, or even a concert. It was cultural warfare. They let the music speak. And Europe listened. Drake tried to respond with luxury, volume, and status, but Kendrick came with silence and made the entire continent listen. Now, we have questions for you. Did Kendrick just demonstrate that the world is hungry for meaning? Over metrics, and with Phase 2 now pointing to Detroit, are we about to see GNX erupt on American soil? Where do you stand in this cultural clash? Are you riding with satellites and soft launches? Or are you tuned in to the frequency? Don't just watch from the sidelines. For example, if you felt that broadcast had a deeper impact than any playlist. Subscribe for every update as GNX prepares for its next signal strike. Okay, hit that bell, because Phase 2 is coming soon. If Berlin taught us anything, it's that this isn't just about who's streaming. It's about who's listening, said Kendrick.